He's been such a strong leader, but also done a lot of policy stuff for student government. He's part of a program that provides food insecurity options for students who are on finals. So at that time, the university can give people additional meal swipes into the dining hall if you feel like you don't have the finances to do something like that. He's also been really active in Greek life on campus and just a super strong leader all around campus. So I'll let him give like a little bit of an introduction for himself. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Nadine. That was really nice. So my name's Joe. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. As Nadine said, I'm Jewish and I've been very involved in the Jewish community on campus. Really focusing on trying to bring the Jewish community into interaction with other communities. I've often said one of the greatest parts about college is interacting and engaging with people that come from different backgrounds, that look different from you, that think different from you. And I'm really feel very fortunate that I've had such a great opportunity on this campus to really live up to that and really try to accomplish and achieve that. And being part of Central Student Government has been instrumental in my experience with that. I mean, we really have people that come from all different backgrounds, and it's phenomenal. People look at the world in such different ways, and I really appreciated getting to see how people kind of view the world.
Cool. So, just clapping. So I know we're like in Central Student Government, and so I don't know what you all know about the government and like how active you are in your schools and in the local community. So I wanted to first just start with, what do you think student government does? So we could do a formal presentation, but I think it's better to first just like maybe lay out the foundation for this. So yeah. Oh, also Joe has class, so he has to go.
Got it run. But it was really nice to meet you all. If you have any questions, give them to Nadine. She'll give them to me. Nice to meet you.
Okay. So what do you all know about student government? Don't be shy. I'm sure you know stuff.
I know that it puts students in a position where they can actually make decisions for the school.
Okay, cool.
Decisions are made in the school, changes how the environment around the school looks.
I feel like student government could also unify the student body other than just making big decisions on their behalf. It can also bring them together.
Student government creates leaders most of the time.
Yeah.
It expands communication with students, with each other.
I was going to say embodies the exact American government that we have.
Yeah, definitely. That's very true. Especially all the points. I'm kidding. Anything else?
I could also say it connects people as a community. Like, I know for a fact I've never met anyone here from ULA or UA or Canada. Yeah,
sure.
It doesn't just connect students, it connects other schools, and maybe even the state.
Yeah, so I want to tell you about this government specifically, but I want you to be able to take away from this a larger issue and discussion to take home with you. So like, do you all live in Dearborn Heights? Okay, I'm from Dearborn Heights too, you probably already know that. But yeah, huh? Yeah, I know. And so like the thing is obviously when we come here to this campus, I feel like there's like obviously like in any government position, but especially on this campus, there's underrepresentation of our community. So for example, like let's talk about like things that are important to us on a daily basis. So like every day we have, you know, a lot of Muslims have to pray 5 times a day, for example. There was nowhere on campus to go and pray. So if you wanted to pray, I would literally stop in like a random hallway and just like pray there because I didn't really have anywhere to pray, and I would have to walk home 20 minutes to go pray. But without any like Muslims in positions to say that Muslims need a place to pray, no one, who's going to advocate for that, right? So this is just a small thing, just a room that has like stuff for salat and like a place to like wash up and do wudu. No one really thought about that. But then student government leaders went to the administration and said, we need these rooms to pray because this is like our needs. Here's what we need in them. We gave them a list and we asked them to do that for us. And in student government, if you look at like what a bill is in like Congress, we have something called a resolution. So resolutions are like basically like what your request is, and then you give it to the after like it gets voted on, and usually stuff like this obviously passes because other members of the community here want to give us the things that we need to succeed here. Then we take it to the administration and we say, okay, like Muslim students need this. So we went to them and we told them we need these reflection spaces because we need to pray, and we don't need to like, it's not fair for us to like walk home 25 minutes and pray in a place where we feel safe. And since then they've captured 12 prayers, well they're called reflection spaces, so anyone can go in them, but they're predominantly used by Muslims. And all across campus, in this building, and like all the main buildings all across campus, now there's somewhere where Muslims can go and pray. And it's a very safe place, it's a big room, and they have saliyas and like everything, so that's something that we're like, you can see where representation is important. Another thing is like during Ramadan. There were never like really any student leaders who could tell the administrators that during Ramadan we need to think about the times of our exams, because that could be, a time of an exam could be during iftar. They didn't even think about that. They just put the exams on the calendar and then they moved on with it. But then there were student advocates who were able to tell them, no, you can't have an exam at 8 to 10 p.m. That's a time where I have to go home and eat with my family and pray. So just like small things like that, right? And then like also very large things. So when you come to this campus, there are some Muslims and there's a very unified Muslim community, but it's not as big as Dearborn, right? So it's not like when you walk around and you see everything written in Arabic and you can talk to people in Arabic, or you have like other people of color around you that are like not just Arab, like all of the diversity we have in Dearborn. It's not really like that here. So like our population right now on campus, we have 4% black students. It's a very small population compared to Michigan at large, and especially for us in Dearborn, where we're right next to so many communities with diverse like Latinx communities, black communities, like Arab communities. So like it's very different here. So when you come here, you want to put yourself in a position to be able to make decisions on your behalf, because you can't trust or believe that people from a different identity know about you. It's not that they're like bad people and they don't want to help you. It's that how would they know if we're not telling them? Does that make sense? So I guess like my next question is like, if you, like whether it's in like Dearborn Heights or whether it's like at school, I want to know a little bit about like what are some ideas or things that every single day at home you would take for granted if you weren't at school. So for example, let's say Arabic was your first language. What if you came to Ann Arbor and like someone like most people don't speak Arabic, so like that transition. So like I want to kind of like not test you, but like encourage you to think about what are some of the things that make our lives normal or easier in Dearborn Heights. That's a tough question, but I just want to like, yeah.
Especially for women that wear hijabs, you're not really going to see that as often as you would around your corner.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the school we go to, you're not really going to see that as much as I hear.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
I think with the restaurants, you know how Muslims always eat halal, so they always say this is halal. Here they wouldn't tell you unless you asked.
Exactly. Actually, halal food is a project that we've been working on. The dining halls used to not have halal food, and only one of them actually started serving halal food, but it was like very far off campus, so you'd have to like walk 25 minutes. But Kid in Dearborn has been working with the dining halls, so now basically all the dining halls will have halal options for Muslims who follow the bihad, which is like very important. So what else? Yeah.
I would say being independent, because I feel like we all rely on our parents. So
yeah, that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's true, because I think our community has a very tight-knit family community, and you'll find kids that come here maybe don't necessarily have that. So that's something that is kind of hard to get used to, but yeah.
Like just being in a dorm, because usually most Arabic families, they especially if it's a girl, we do not want them to like live outside their family's home.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
because I know in Ann Arbor you have to live on campus your first year.
Not anymore. You could get an apartment, but I can talk about that. So maybe that's important for those of you interested in moving away to school, not just here. So my dad was like very much the same. So when I wanted to come here, I told my dad when I was 15 I wanted to go to U of M Ann Arbor. He thought I was like dreaming. He's like, you're not moving anywhere. Like, go inside, you know? So like, but he's very, very strict about it, right? But I think, like what we can do is like the generation who came here is, I'm not joking, get my number from Wissam, let your parents call like me and my mom, and we will talk to them and explain to them like there's very different ways for parents to keep the privacy of the women in our community on campus. So for example, my hall was all women. So I could come out of the bathroom without my hijab and just go to my room. It was like all women, and it's not a problem. But in my dad's mind, he didn't understand that. He's like, I need to like see this with my own eyes, or I need someone to explain it. And I understand that, because like for a lot of, especially women in our community, it's hard to like move away and for our parents to understand that. But I think the first thing is like put it in your mind that it's something you want to do, and then we can help you do that, and we can talk to your parents. Literally, my dad like doesn't speak English. I bet he could talk in Arabic to any of your parents and explain to them why he's okay now that I moved here. Or moved away, like my sister went to Michigan State, so like same thing, you know? So yeah, that's definitely an important thing. Okay, and then I have a next question. So why do you think representation is important? So it doesn't just have to be an elected position. Anything, whether on campus and at STAR or here, why do you think it's important to have like Muslims or Arab or black communities or Latinx communities, like different things? Yeah.
Because no one understands you better than yourself in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, like if someone who wasn't even Muslim or not even like doesn't have any ties to it, how could they help Muslims if they don't even understand what it is?
I think representation is important because especially for Muslims or Arab people in general, because especially because of all the negativity surrounding the stigmas around us that people quite don't understand. I feel like it's really important to represent yourself in the best way possible so people can stop thinking so negatively about you for no reason.
Yeah.
I think that representation diminishes ignorance in the community. Like the more groups there are, the more people learn. So they stop, they stop judging people based on what they are.
Exactly like everything you guys are saying. Like if someone has a question towards Muslims and they're so confused, like the media is portraying exactly what the media wants us to think about Muslims. You go up to a Muslim and you ask them like these certain kind of questions, and it really clears up like what a Muslim is. So that really helps like Islam in general.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm just going to interrupt real quick. This is one of my best friends on campus. His name is Lloyd. He's also in Central Student Government. Again, one of those people that's very humble, but I'm not joking. If you go on the street and touch someone and say, hey, do you know Lloyd? They'll be like, yeah, I know him. Everyone here knows him. He is a diversity peer educator. That means within dormitories. So because there's like a lot of issues centered around diversity and inclusion, he's one of the people that like works to educate the community about those issues and to work with students who feel affected maybe by like a bias incident or something like that. But he's also just like very well-rounded, very active on campus, and maybe you could talk a little bit about yourself.
So with DPE, short for Diversity Peer Educator, I do a lot of that. So as you may have heard, a lot of things have been in the news about different bias incidents up here. That is a huge part of my job. The one that happened in West Quad, which is right next door, I was kind of the one doing behind the scenes things with that. So trying to alert the right people